Dear friends, I'm Shanice J., your host. Thank you so much for tuning in to Love Her Will, the new voice of willpower. Today we are going to discuss having faith during breast cancer to bring on healing and joy. I'm so excited to introduce Miss Natasha Moore to help us with this discussion by sharing her own personal journey. Natasha is a devoted mother, phenomenal author, and a 4-year breast cancer survivor. She shares her story of how her strong faith in God healed her body and brought her joy. Natasha believes in speaking and praying what you need and want into existence, so never give up. She wants to share her own testimony with anyone who is willing to listen, to inspire and encourage other people to trust and believe in the process and have hope that they too can get through many challenges that life has to offer. Thank you so much, Natasha, for being here.
Love her will, outspoken, gonna tell you how you feel. No fake news, no. Willpower gonna get you that real. Black girl power in heels, everyone's equal, that's how I feel. Black girl power in heels, everyone's equal, that's how I feel. Gotta love her will, you gotta never quit though. You gotta love her will, say that. Gotta love her will, you gotta love her will. Solid, gotta love her will, you gotta love her will. Connect with your willpower.
How are you feeling today?
I feel fine. Thank you so much for having me. It's
Yes,
a pleasure.
thank you. You look wonderful in that pink. You're glowing. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I love
Thank
it.
you.
Pink is my favorite color. Um, so let's go ahead and get into it a little bit. So I mentioned you're a
Okay.
4-year breast cancer survivor. So when and how did you discover that breast cancer?
This year, this coming October will make 4 years.
Okay.
And I actually discovered it on my own.
Wow.
Um, Having being 44, I actually have had several mammograms beforehand, and something just didn't feel right about what the doctors were telling me. Dense tissue, it's normal. And, of course, I would always ask, well, I feel this,
Right.
is it not a lump or, and the explanation would always be, you need to lay off the sodas, less coffee, and all of those things. So in my mind, something was festering.
Right.
Yes. So something about that particular time that I had to schedule my upcoming mammogram, I
Right.
felt like I needed to ask more questions.
Right.
And lo and behold, God had placed me in a place where I actually worked closely with women who did the scanning.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
So,
blessing.
yes, it was because once I started asking questions, it caused them to be concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Caused them to be concerned. And the more questions and, that I asked, they were like, well, maybe you need a diagnostic.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's pretty much how I found it. Um, I guess you would call it intuition,
Mm-hmm.
you know, things happening. I can remember getting calls at midnight
Yeah.
to make donations to Breast Cancer Society.
Wow.
And I'm like, why am I getting these calls at midnight, three
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
And, so all of those things kind of made me aware. And that's what made me pay attention to what was going on with me,
Right.
my body, what I felt, and what I felt was going on.
Right.
So
What do you think led up to um your breast cancer? What do you believe led up to the development of it? As far as how do you think you got it? Was it family history or environmental?
I really think it's unknown family history.
Okay.
And I say unknown because I don't really know a lot about my dad's side of the family.
Okay.
But my mother's side, no one had it.
Okay.
So I would always just kind of go on that.
Right.
But I did take the testing, the genetic screening. I
Okay.
did do that. And turns out that I am a carrier of the hereditary gene. So I stress to many, if you're kind of clueless as to why or what happened, or nobody in your immediate family has it, do the genetic screening. It can go back years,
Yeah.
even before your parents' parents,
Right.
So that's very important, very important.
Right. What was your immediate reaction when you got your results from breast cancer?
Well, um, it was frightening. Um, Unfortunately, my daughter was with me once they actually just told me.
Okay.
And I had to kind of keep it together, before I'll say fall all the way out, because that's exactly what I did. Once I kind of headed her out with her friend, um, it was kind of funny how it happened. I was actually in a bank when I got the call.
Okay.
And she was with me. And when I answered the call, they told me over the phone, which to me is a no-no.
Right.
That's a no-no. You don't
Yeah.
call anyone and give them that type of information over the phone.
Right.
I was driving and it was a mess. It really was a mess. But the teller had me to go into a room because she saw that I was just distraught.
Yeah.
And I kind of calmed myself down a bit and told her that I'd finish this later, that I had to leave. She knew why. I had told her. And got home, told my daughter I wasn't feeling well, and told her to call her friend to finish the shopping, because that's what we were doing. And I tell you, about 10 minutes after she left, I just screamed. I was screaming. I questioned God. Why me? I had been through so much in my life. I just couldn't believe that, okay, I got to go through this too.
Right.
So I was angry. I was very angry, very angry. I questioned. I did all kind of things, and that's natural.
Yeah.
That's natural.
It is.
Because I really feel like you have to react to being told. You can't keep that stuff in. It will literally kill you trying to keep it in. So, I questioned him, as spiritual as I am. I screamed and cursed and I did all kind of things.
Yeah.
Because I just could not believe I had to endure this too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And just hearing you say it again, kind of, I feel it in my heart now, like you're tearing up now just thinking about it.
Yeah, I am. Because just thinking back to it, it was horrible, It was horrible because me being of a small family, it was just me and my children. I had been married and divorced, and I was going through a divorce at the time of this diagnosis. It was just, I kept saying one thing after another. When am I going to get a break?
Right.
So, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
So how would you, I read your book, and I'm going to show you guys how to order her book at the end here. You talked about, how cancer has changed you. How would you describe yourself before cancer versus after cancer?
Before cancer, I don't feel like I was living, if that makes sense. I just feel like I was kind of existing.
Okay.
My focus was my children and making sure that they didn't have to endure anything that I went through, as a child growing up. I didn't really do much. All I did was worked and, kind of was passive about a lot of things. And I'll say this, I didn't have the relationship that I now have with God.
Okay.
So I'm really proud of the woman that I am now versus the woman who I was. I don't feel like I was a bad person or anything. I was just existing. I only did what I had to do. I didn't
Right.
do anything, out of the ordinary, or I didn't push myself,
Mm-hmm.
you know. When you have kids and you're a single mom, you tend to put all your energy towards your kids. All I knew is I wanted my kids to graduate college.
Right.
I didn't have that push, so I pushed, to make sure that that happened with them. And I, succeeded at doing that. But now it's like a whole nother
Mm.
person, I'm still me,
Yeah.
but I look at things differently. I don't take anything for granted. Anything. I don't care how small, how big, whatever it is. I don't take anything for granted. I no longer run from what I call is my gift.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to connect with a lot of people, about different things, different walks of life. I never understood why, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning as I'm going.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm just better overall. My mindset, my heart. I allow myself to love and not be afraid of that. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a totally different place. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
It's almost like it kind of pushed you to come out of your shell in a sense. And
Yes, yes,
um,
yes, yes.
and you know
And
when.
I'm not. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a work in progress.
Right.
I'm very much so an introvert. I love my space. Um, I only have two close friends that I deal with, on a regular basis and whatnot. So, yes, it's definitely pushing me to connect with other people. And I wouldn't think in a million years I'd be doing this,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
So, and I'm private. I'm a very private person. So it has pushed me to come out
Mm-hmm.
and, speak, so to speak, just lift my voice. And just be heard on how I feel about things. And, you know,
And that's a good thing because people need to hear from women that's going through what they're going through right now. And
right.
it makes the path a little bit easier when you're talking to
Mm-hmm.
someone that's been through what you've been through. And
Absolutely.
and then it's almost like you go into survival mode too with cancer. So you're in
Yes.
survival mode. So you're like, you know what, I'm gonna give it all to God. I'm going to, keep, good faith and just keep pushing.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that you did to keep good faith and to keep fighting?
Well, after I fell out and did all of those things, and I want to say it was my son, might have been my oldest. After he said to me, I think I may have been talking about insurances and things of that sort, and did I have enough? Would you be able to help your sister handle certain things if this turned bad?
Mm-hmm.
He stood up, he looked at me, and he scolded me.
Oh,
This
wow.
child is so laid back till it scared me.
Wow.
Okay. He was like, who is this person?
Mm-hmm.
Where's my mother?
Yeah.
Where is my sister?
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked at him and he was like, you're not giving up. You're talking like you're giving up.
Yeah.
You told us we were going to fight. And this doesn't sound like my superwoman who's ready to fight. So after hearing him say that, and then I just kind of had like a reality check to myself. I had been through many things before, and it made me really take a look at my life. And God had really been with me the entire time.
Right.
Brought me through some pretty bad times in my life. And I'm like, what difference is it now?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. So once I tapped into knowing that he's always been with me, and I've never had to go with I went through some things, but I was brought out of them.
Right.
Once I realized that if I just trust, trust and believe in him. Kept myself fed with the word.
Mhm.
Took the negative things and people from around me and just surround myself with positive people. That was the main thing for me.
Mhm.
I had a church mother I was very close to, who explained certain things I was feeling to me, spiritually. It's
Right.
like I went through a whole spiritual thing,
Mhm.
once I tapped into the faith that I knew I had for God. And I read daily. I think I may have sent you healing scriptures or
Yes.
whatnot.
Yes.
Anytime I felt discouraged,
Mhm.
scared, or any type of negativity that would pop up in my mind, I would take those scriptures out and I would read it
Mm.
over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's like I had to recondition my mind often,
Yes.
but once I started doing that, I would feel better. I wouldn't feel afraid.
Mhm.
Um, if I had to reach out to someone, I did.
Mhm.
Um, I'll say it again. It's good to release whatever it is that you're feeling. If you're
Right.
feeling afraid of something, or you have to let that stuff out.
Right.
So it was basically me feeding myself, the word, and keeping positive people around me, and just I made the conscious decision to just trust God. I didn't care what it was, what they told me. The
Right.
doctors thought I was crazy. They
Yeah.
literally thought I was crazy,
Mm.
but that was my choice. Our
Right.
lives, it's a choice.
It
It's a
is.
choice you make. You're gonna either let cancer take you out, or
Mhm.
you're gonna fight.
Right.
You're gonna trust God. You're gonna endure your process. You're gonna go through whatever it is that you have to go through at that particular time.
Exactly.
And don't lose faith.
Right. And like you said, recondition your mind. It's a mental
Mhm.
process just as much as it is
Yes,
physical, and
yes,
that's what you have to do. So I'm glad that you pointed that out. You have to change your mindset. Um,
daily,
yeah,
daily.
yes, daily. It's not a one-time thing. You
Oh
have to
no.
consistently do it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and sometimes more than once a day. I mean,
Mhm.
whenever you're under attack, whenever you start, and this is my belief,
Mhm.
when you start turning things over to God
Mhm.
and just letting God control it, and just do that thing in your life,
Right.
I feel like you're under attack. You become under attack.
Right.
So strengthening yourself, keeping yourself positive and fed with the word, I just feel like that will do it. That will keep you going, keep you moving. Because if you stop, I feel that's when cancer really takes
Yeah.
control.
Right. And would you say that's what you did because breast cancer can bring about a lot of emotions?
Oh
And
my God, yes.
would you say staying in your Bible and sticking to your faith was how you overcame those negative thoughts?
Yes, most
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And the people around me encouraging me,
Yeah.
telling me, that things were going to be okay. Yes, you have to go through it, but you're going to come out victorious,
Right.
And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I actually had a life changing event to happen to me
Hmm.
once I was diagnosed, so, and it was life changing. It was life changing because I had to make the choice right then and there if I actually believed in the healing, you
Right.
know. So yes, I would say that's definitely what I did.
Yeah. What would you say was your highest moment during your journey, and what was maybe the lowest moment during your journey?
I'll go with the lowest first.
Hmm.
I think the lowest was acting out to my family. Um, it was a roller coaster ride of
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't want anybody to do anything for me.
Okay.
Like I was angry. I was just angry, and I don't feel like I was quite myself at that time.
Yeah.
And I would go off and stay off to myself, which is not totally a bad thing.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have to go away um, and just deal with yourself.
Right.
But I was afraid of allowing them to see my vulnerabilities.
Mm.
That was my lowest point, actually being vulnerable to what was going on with me and allowing my children, my family, my friends to see.
Right.
Because I'm the strong one. I'm the strong one. Everybody, comes to me. I'm the one that lifts everybody else up. So,
Okay.
oh no, so I would say that that was my lowest point. And you kind of have to understand, I didn't really, I may be a little different from everyone, well, everybody's different going
Mm.
through this. I'll say that. It wasn't so much as what I was dealing with as far as the cancer
Mm-hmm.
itself. It was more of what I was dealing with spiritually.
Right.
That
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah, I would say that that was my absolute lowest point because that's not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an angry person, and I definitely don't condone mistreatment.
Mm-hmm.
But I went through that phase of emotions, and it happens. It
Right.
happens.
Yeah.
But my highest point, I would have to say, is when I was healed.
Mm.
When
Yeah.
I was healed, um, I would say in that moment of experiencing what I experienced, as far as the feeling of it all,
Mm-hmm.
being told. Let me say this. Let me try to run through the testimony right quick.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to go to a revival at my church. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you've read it.
Yes.
And a lot of people, my church is pretty big, and there were a lot of members there this particular night. We had a guy to come in from, I want to say, North Carolina, a pastor. And for him to stop in the middle of his sermon and
Mm-hmm.
say, there's one person in here with cancer.
Right.
One, are you here?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. So I'm there, of course, but I felt like there was a hold on me that wouldn't allow me to say
Mm-hmm.
that I was there. But he came back again and he said, if you can't speak, wave your hands. Because we were already in worship mode, my hands were already up. So I was able to sway my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So him delivering that to me, telling me that God was going to heal me of the cancer, as many people as was in the church,
Mm-hmm.
I was the only one there with
Wow.
cancer.
Wow.
And it was something. It was
Yeah.
something to experience. So I believe that that was him touching me and feeling what I felt. I felt like I was seasoned. I'm gonna be honest about it. It's just almost like I had a seizure or something. I don't know, but experiencing what I experienced, that really told me
Mm-hmm.
that God is faithful.
Yeah.
God can do, miraculous things.
Yes,
And
he
I
can.
really felt it in my heart that I was healed. From that moment, I didn't care what the doctors told me.
Mm.
They told me I was going to have all this chemo and radiation. They told me a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I told them, I said, well, okay.
Right.
I said, I asked God to give me an ease in treatment if I had to have any at all, to please give me an ease in treatment. And I believe that. I wrote it down, stuck it in a Bible, prayed about it, and that
Mm-hmm.
was that.
Yeah.
So I said all that to say, um, just
Mm-hmm.
accepting it, accepting what happened, the
Yeah.
diagnosis, reacting to it, and literally just having faith that I was going to be okay. I was going to be able to see my children, my
Mm-hmm.
daughter graduate, see
Right.
my son get married the next year. I was
Mm-hmm.
going to be able to do all these things. And I was going to also be able to help the next person come behind me to
Mhm.
just have faith to hold on.
Right.
So that was pretty big for me
Yeah.
because I had never experienced anything like that.
Mhm.
And moving on to deciding that I had to tell the testimony, you
Mhm.
know, that was pretty big. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't know how I was going to do it because I don't like talking to people, you
Mhm.
know, big crowds and all
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Right.
Um, he showed it to me, and of course, that's where the book came in.
Mm.
So I think in between all of that and finding out everything that I did and just kind of just trusting and believing, you
Yeah.
know, that was my most highest points um, of getting through it,
Yeah.
of getting through it. I knew that I wasn't alone,
Right. That's right. He's always with us, and,
always with us,
and it's
always
important
with us.
to not only know that, but truly believe in your heart. You
Really
know.
believe it.
Yep. You have to
Yes.
100%. You mentioned being a strong Black woman. That's kind of pretty much your role in your family. And that's really the role of every Black woman in the family, is to be
Yeah.
strong and superwoman. How did that
Yes.
title and expectation affect you and your ability to accept help?
Well, I can remember just saying, I have to allow other people to just come in and help me at this point, at this time. I can't do it.
Okay.
I knew I could not stand up for the family.
Mm-hmm.
I had, like I said, raised my children. I had taken care of my grandmother. You know, I was always the force.
Mm-hmm.
But now I needed to deal with the diagnosis. I needed to
Right.
deal with myself, all the changes. I knew I had to put the cape up,
Yeah.
you know. And I had this talk with my family. I was like, you know, first off, I apologized
Mm-hmm.
in making them believe that I didn't need them. I
Yeah.
was going to do this on my own. I'm fine. I'm okay. You know, we go through that too.
Right.
You
Right.
know, that we're okay. I can do this. You know, just kind of leave me be. Let me deal with it my way.
Right.
You know, but I needed my family. I
Yeah.
needed them to love me, to just kind of be there. You know, they didn't really have to say anything, just be there. I
Right.
needed bodies there.
Yeah.
So that was my own realization
Yeah.
that I had to sit my little self down and allow, you know,
Right.
my family to be what I was to them so many years. I
Yeah.
needed them to come in and do the same for me.
Yeah. And that's good that you were able to come to that conclusion and say,
Mhm.
hey, let me let my family help me, because breast cancer, you
Right.
can't do that alone. You have to
You
have
cannot.
family. You have
You absolutely cannot,
Yeah.
because I tell you, every day is a different experience.
Mhm.
Every day.
It is. And it's so unexpected. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
it is.
So I put the cape up, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't picked it back up either.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, we need that. You know, it doesn't stop just because they tell us we're cancer free.
Oh, right. Right. That, yeah.
Okay, so okay, but there you go with the joint pain. I can no longer do the things that, you know, I've been doing. The meds have side effects.
Yeah.
I mean, we go through so many different emotional things and pains, and you know, it's not visible.
Right.
You know, so people tend to think that we're not as bad off as we are. I know I get that a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
you know, but
Right.
they have no idea.
They don't. we
No
may
idea.
look good to going through the process, but we are going through it a lot, and we can't
Right. And
help.
we look good going through the process because it's a choice.
Right.
The choice you made. You know, I know for me, I made the choice. I'm not gonna let this, you know, change me, who I am. You
Hmm.
know, it might change the way I do things, but it's not gonna change Natasha,
Right.
you know. So I keep myself together and, you know, doing, you know, I try to do the things that I love to do, but of course we have to alter things,
Right.
you know. it's a choice. It's a choice. You're gonna either lay down and let it whoop you, or you're gonna put your gloves on and fight.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And we're choosing to fight. We are.
I'm telling you.
You're right. Breast cancer, it not only affects us, but also our families. So, how important was it to you for you to tell your children about genetic testing?
It was very important. I'm still trying to get them to get it done.
Okay.
I think they're a bit afraid.
Mm,
I do have a 23-year-old daughter whom matter of fact, just last week, told her when she schedules her annual to make sure she let them know that she needs that
okay.
testing done.
Right.
And she's done that. And my son as well,
Okay.
because it's somewhere in the family,
Yeah.
and men are not excluded from this,
Mm-hmm.
and there's other cancers attached to it,
Right.
so you have to, just talk to your families or whatnot. I've even talked to my mother. I've had my mother to get it, done as well. So
Okay.
it's very important,
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah, it is. Um, Finding normalcy is also important to breast cancer survivors. How and what did you do to help find your new norm?
Well, I think I did a lot of things to find my new norm. I think
Yeah.
I kind of, um, I've had a double mastectomy.
Mm,
I've chose not to try to rebuild them again. I did that, before, and it failed. So I
okay.
had it all removed. Um, I changed the way that my new norms, as far as clothing, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't stop wearing what I like to wear as
Okay.
far as clothing.
Right.
I just changed how I wore it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm going to that because that was a biggie for me. The
Yeah.
shoes, the clothes,
Yeah.
because I kind of felt like, I was this little jazzy person and I like to do this, with the clothes and all of that. So that
Right.
was kind of hard for me. Accepting, it wasn't quite that hard accepting the fact that I had no breasts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it did cross my mind about dating.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me as far as another new norm. Would I ever date again?
Right.
Uh, would
Yeah. Take your
somebody
time.
accept me?
Mm-hmm.
Would somebody accept me?
Yeah.
So after I kind of just got within myself again, I did a lot of self realizations with myself.
Yeah.
Um, Thinking of who I am as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I came to realize I'm still me.
Right.
It changes, our physical,
Mm-hmm.
it messes with our minds, all of those things. But again, you have to make the choice
Yeah.
whether or not you're going to let it take everything from you, or
Mm-hmm.
whether you're going to fight to as
Right.
much normalcy as you can to have it.
Right.
So I don't try to hide the fact that I'm breastless or anything. I have my days, and I can be a little transparent about it.
Yeah.
They give us what do you call them? The prosthetics.
Yeah, the prosthesis. Yeah.
Yeah, those, and I have those. I have my days where I put them on.
Mm-hmm.
I have my days that I don't put them on.
Right.
It just does not. I don't let it define who I am. And if a man is going to be with me, he's going to accept me with all my scars,
Right.
or they keep it moving.
Right.
So that was one of the things that I had to come to terms with.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have, a big issue with that. But I had to change, just change wardrobe and things of that sort. And everything else just kind of came in. I still do the things that I like to do.
Right.
I still,
Good.
travel a little bit. That was one of my big things that I wanted to do. To as normal as I can. I'll just say that,
Yeah.
you know. So the big issue for me was my overall physical.
Okay.
How was I going to still be me and
Right.
maneuver through, the things that I was already used to?
Right.
So I just changed it.
Yeah.
And it's really nothing in particular because I chose to kind of live the same way that I was used to living, doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't afraid to do it.
Okay.
I wasn't afraid to do it because I've always been confident.
Yeah.
So I didn't allow breast cancer to take my confidence,
That's
you
good.
know. And it just worked for me that way.
Yeah.
It just worked for me that way.
That's good. And I can tell that you have tremendous confidence just on how you carry yourself. And
Thank you.
I looked at your social media, and you're just inspiring. And just keep shining. And like you said, if they don't like it, then keep walking. Because
Keep walking. I even have a chapter in my book about that,
mm-hmm.
where I talk about the experience I had with a young man. And I do say young man because he's younger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really surprised
Mm-hmm.
at, his response and his actions towards me. And anyone that reads that would truly be inspired, to date, because real men are not going to
Mm-hmm.
feel one way or another about that.
Right.
They're going to see you. They're going to see that this woman here,
Mm-hmm.
is a
Right.
strong Black woman, or, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not going to be what we kind of tell ourselves it's going to be.
Right.
But that's the fear. That's the fear of it. That's the fear of it.
It is.
So you can't be afraid to date. Just date. Just date.
Yeah.
But I will say this. You have to, well, for me, I chose to be upfront.
Okay. That's what
I don't put all this stuff on and date the person. Then 6 months later, you take all of it off and they're like, what happened? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with John Coffey is my little pet name for the guy in my book. With him, I think on our first date, actual date, I sat him down and I told him that I was a breastless beauty. That's just how I said it.
I love that.
And I said it doesn't change who I am.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't change anything about me being a woman.
Right.
Can you deal with that? And his response, was he didn't care anything about that. All he saw was this beautiful queen sitting in front of him, you know? So you have to give him a chance.
Right.
Give yourself a chance and give the guy a chance.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I needed to hear that because I'm single. So that's crossed my mind too. Just, those questions like, are they going to like me, or are they going to be, how are they going to accept, that part of me? So, yeah.
Well, I tell you, I'm dating now, and he accepts it. He constantly tells me how strong I am, and he's with me 100% of whatever it is I got going on, or whatever it is I want to do, or doctor's appointments, anything.
Yeah.
So you just have to give yourself a chance to experience it, and give the guy a chance to prove himself as being a man who's going to accept you and embrace you, and just be happy. Enjoy the moment.
Right.
I enjoy every moment. I don't focus on, whether I'm going to get married and this, that, the other. I don't focus on all that. I enjoy on the moment of what I'm doing at that particular time, because we're not promised tomorrow.
Right. Right.
I make the best out of every day and every moment.
Yeah, that's smart.
Just give yourself the opportunity to experience it.
Yeah.
Don't hold back. Just go for it.
Right. And that's what I'll have to do. That's what I'm going to do. What can you say has been the biggest help that may help the next breast cancer survivor? What has helped you the most that you can share that might help someone else?
As far as getting through,
Yeah, just through their journey. What are some things that, helped you that can help the next person?
stay true to yourself, number one.
Hmm.
Um, don't, I wouldn't focus on everybody else and what they think and
Hmm.
what they say. Um, do what's best for you.
Yeah.
You have to do what's best for you. Keep all of the negative things out of your ear gate.
Right.
Or I would do this, or you should do this, or no, you do what it is that's best for you.
Right.
And I mean that as far as anything.
Hmm.
Um, Even with the doctors, they have the tendency of pushing things on you and
Yeah.
saying that, like they told me, you're gonna be depressed. They told me I would be depressed
Hmm.
because I'm young,
Hmm.
and you're gonna need your cleavage, and I don't need none of that.
Oh,
you
wow.
know,
That's crazy.
told them, yeah, and I told them, I said, I'm not worried about any of that. So just stick to what you feel. you
Mhm.
know, um, I say pray about everything,
Yeah.
any choices, any decisions you have to make,
Hmm.
um, and live.
Right.
Don't stop living.
Yeah.
Do not stop living. Keep pushing. Every day that you're able to get up,
Hmm.
put your clothes on, get yourself together, get out and do something. Don't just sit stagnant at home,
Hmm.
um, wallowing in the woes of the world,
Yeah.
and what I can do and what I can't do.
Right.
You never know if you can do it if you don't get out there and try.
Right. That's true.
Just move. Get up, get out, and get moving.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Just keep going and have faith. Trust in God. Everybody don't feel that way, spiritually,
Hmm.
but for those who do, I would say give whatever it is that you're dealing with, give it to God, whether it's the cancer, other illnesses, something in your personal life,
Hmm.
give it to God and trust that He will move you through it.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to do that.
Yep. Amen. That's perfect
Yes,
advice. That's right. You have to.
you
And
have to.
it's almost, I feel like there's there's no way I would have been able to get through breast cancer without God. And
Right.
um, so yeah, lean on him. Lean on him.
Yes, for everything, for
Yeah.
everything.
Yes, you have to. Define the meaning of willpower to you. What was the moment you would say that willpower activated in your life?
The moment they told me that the breast cancer was rare, um, I want to say it's PAL2
Okay.
gene mutation. It's a rare mutation.
Yeah.
Um, and I went to thinking about the chemo and how chemo takes
Hmm.
the life out of, some people that get it. I decided when they told me that, when they got my numbers back, and they told me that my numbers were pretty low.
Hmm.
I think it might have been a 12 or somewhere around 12 to 20.
Okay.
And they was like, well, you're going to have some pretty rough days. This is the doctors talking or whatnot. I was determined
Hmm.
not to have any bad days
Wow.
like they were talking. Like they were
Yeah.
talking. I have my bad days, but not like the ones the doctors were telling me.
Hmm.
So again, you have to decide what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Lay down and take it, you
Yeah.
know, um, your treatments, or you're going to push.
Hmm.
You're going to push.
Yeah.
So, willpower to me is having the faith, number one, and the just the drive, the motivation to
Mhm.
not allow it to take you.
Right.
Like, I was determined not to just fall weak.
Mm.
That was my main thing, not falling weak to it.
Right.
I didn't sit here on the computer and do all the research.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yes, we have to be informed. We have to be informed of what they've told us. It's good to look up certain things and all of that. But
Right.
me sitting and just contemplating on cancer
Mm-hmm.
itself, I didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't riddle my mind with all the different types of cancer, the different levels of cancer, of course, the coming back would set, that sets in anybody's mind.
Right.
But willpower to me is just moving,
Mm.
deciding not to let it. I just made the decision not to let it take me.
Yeah.
You're not taking me away from my kids.
Yeah.
You're not taking my life away from me.
Yeah.
And I would say that every day. And that motivated me,
Yeah.
to get up.
Right.
Whereas sometimes you might just want to lay there. You might want to just lay there and cry,
Right.
waddle. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I got up.
Yeah.
You have to just keep pushing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pushing just is stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
That's the willpower for me. Just not taking what has been told to you.
Right.
Just keep pushing it. Just keep pushing.
Yeah. Even if it's a little bit, your energy might not be the same every day. So whatever
Right.
little energy that you have, just take that little bit, and like you said, just keep pushing.
Keep pushing. Just keep pushing, moving.
Mm-hmm.
Changing your mindset.
Yeah.
Believing in you. Believe that you can overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
If we sit and think that we can't do something, then we're not going to do it.
Right. Right.
But if you constantly tell yourself, "Oh, I'm going to do this,"
Yeah.
And you have God on your side,
Yeah.
you can do it. You can do it.
Right. That's right.
So me living my life was me thinking of all the things that I set forth for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and living was my willpower.
Mm-hmm.
Watching these kids do the things that I've taught them to do,
Mm-hmm.
that I've put in them to do. Like I said, finish school, set your foundations before you have children and things like that. And then you're waiting on the grands and,
Mm-hmm. Right.
all those things go on in my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's my willpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it is. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, for sharing that. I wanted to read a little piece of your book.
Okay.
Okay. This is the chapter, Faith Over Fear, My Testimony of God's Healing.
Mm-hmm.
I had never felt what I was feeling, never in my life. I know now I was experiencing God's presence and God's healing over my body through the Holy Spirit. While trying to get myself together, I could see a blur of a fellow church members around me. One in particular, Miss Sister Rosemary Daniels, who had been with like a mother and mentor and inspiration to me for some time now. I could see her moving rather quickly, kneeling to the floor beside me. As she kneeled, she placed her arms around me, lifted my head, brought me into the comfort of her arms, and said to me, "Daughter, I knew it. I knew God was going to heal you." And she began to praise God. That moment I was like, wow, because that was the moment where you made the decision in your mind that you're going to be healed. You accepted what God was telling you. And that was the turning point for me in your book, where you decided to, like you said, live and just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the name of her book is Enduring the Process, My Faith versus Breast Cancer. Okay. And Natasha, where can they find your book to purchase it?
They can go to Amazon. It is
Okay.
on Amazon. Or they can, if they're on social media at Natasha Moore, any of the social media platforms, they're more than welcome to just inbox me, send me a message, or they can email me at authornatashamore dot gmail.com. They can order it that way online.
Okay. Okay, excellent. So go, please. I read the book. I felt even more inspired and motivated to process my own journey. So ladies, please purchase this book. You won't be disappointed. And I just appreciate you, Natasha, for being here and sharing your journey and your experiences. And I just feel enlightened right now just after our conversation. So thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, you all, be encouraged. Love her well. Bye-bye.